Maximum alert at the CNI due to the leak of sensitive information to Jose Luis Rodriguez Zapatero. Let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome to a new edition of Medidas Cautelares. And pay close attention because the National Intelligence Center, the CNI, is on maximum alert, as you heard, due to the leak of sensitive information to the former Prime Minister, Jose Luis Rodriguez Zapatero. We are going to explain everything and share this extremely serious exclusive information that we reveal here on Medidas Cautelares, showing it on screen as always. By the way, before anything else, remember to subscribe. Subscribe to the Medidas Cautelares channel as we are on our way to reaching our goal of 150,000 subscribers. Thank you all. And we already have this information on screen, which we are going to explain in detail. Here you can see an archive photo of the former Prime Minister, Jose Luis Rodriguez Zapatero, with Margarita Robles, who is the Minister of Defense. You already know that the CNI, the National Intelligence Center, depends directly on the Ministry of Defense. Well then, pay attention to the information we're revealing. The National Intelligence Center, CNI, is on alert due to the leak of sensitive information to the former Prime Minister, Jose Luis Rodriguez Zapatero. The Economic and Fiscal Crime Unit, UDF, of the National Police found during the search of Julio Martínez's house, known as Julito, hundreds of handwritten pages that recorded alleged illegal practices of the network. Plus ultra in a black notebook. There were also references to the buying and selling of Venezuelan gas, gold, coal, and oil. Julio Martínez referred to the release of Venezuelan prisoners, the intervention of the National Intelligence Center, CNI, in Venezuela, or the forced repatriation of the legitimate president of Venezuela, Edmundo González Urrutia. Well then, sources from the CNI consulted by Medidas Cautelares state that the CNI is on alert due to the possible leak of sensitive information to the former Prime Minister, Jose Luis Rodriguez Zapatero. Julio Martínez's notes about CNI interventions can only originate from information gathered by Zapatero himself. It is suspected that the former president of the government may have direct access to intelligence center agents, or that he may have used the current director of the center, Esperanza Castillejo, as an intermediary. They say it's a disgrace no investigation has started. A confidential investigation within the CNI itself to clarify the information leak that ended up in Zapatero's circle. They tell us it's the same situation that happened in the National Police when there was a tip-off before the Plus Ultra case broke out last December. The same sources consulted state that there is total outrage within the CNI. There are many agents who risk their lives every day, and there has been a leak of information that ended up in Zapatero's hands. It cannot be ruled out that the former Prime Minister has access to information related to operations and undercover agents stationed in Latin American countries such as Venezuela, Colombia, or Cuba. He could also have learned, they say, key information about China, a country with which he is closely linked. Page 27 here, we're going to put an enlargement on the screen. Those handwritten pages that the UDF intercepted from Julio Martínez, the businessman and partner, they even called him a lackey of Zapatero. Here you have those handwritten notes that have been seized from him. Here, for example, you can see up here on the top left where it says P for PDVSA, see? P for PDVSA 2024 amounts of money and so on. This is what has been seized from Julio Martínez, and clearly if Julio Martínez had access to CNI information, it could only have come through Zapatero. As I was saying, page 27 of this agenda belonging to Julio Martínez focuses on the situation of political prisoners in Venezuela at the beginning of 2025. Zapatero's businessman friend notes two figures, 337 and 146 prisoners, of which about 20 could be considered for release at the end of March or the beginning of April as a goodwill gesture from the Bolivarian regime, flight. It's in quotation marks. Next, Martínez wonders how the proposal for these releases should be made, since the two from the CNI must be included. This is verbatim. in reference to the Basque citizens José María Basoa and Andrés Martínez, who had been detained near the border with Colombia on charges of being terrorists and agents of the CNI. The previous release in February of last year of 6 Americans detained in Venezuela. Of course, the crimes of conspiracy and terrorism had allowed the CIA to know that Basoa and Martinez were in good condition in Rodeo 1 prison under a semi-isolation regime. That information was passed on at the time to the Spanish authorities. It should be remembered that the government denied that they were CNI agents. Obviously, I'm not going to criticize this because we have to protect our agents. Pedro Sanchez's government denied that the 2 detained Spaniards belonged to the services of intelligence. The president sent a diplomatic protest note to Caracas, requesting access to the detainees. The incident occurred amid diplomatic tensions between Venezuela and Spain after our country welcomed Edmundo González by granting him political asylum. Julio Martínez's agenda also indicated that Zapatero's liaison with the president-elect, former opposition deputy Eudoro González de Llán, was to propose to Edmundo González that he come without specifying the destination. The UDEF believes that this statement could correspond to the repatriation of Edmundo González to Spain. However, the notes were written half a year after the start of the exile in Madrid. Well, you just heard it. This is extremely serious. And CNI agents are on high alert due to the possible leak of sensitive information to the former Prime Minister, José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero. Zapatero may have had access to information related to Latin American countries such as Cuba, Venezuela, Colombia, but also to countries like China. The CNI agents don't understand why the center led by Esperanza Castelero still hasn't started a confidential investigation to clarify the situation. How is it possible that Zapatero's associate Julio Martínez obtained that sensitive information from the CNI, which he obviously only had access to through Zapatero? Any updates we have, of course, we will keep telling you here on the best legal news channel in Spain and in the world. And that's only thanks to you, to your support, and to continuing to share all the information we tell you here every day. Truthful, well-documented information, always. You already know the subscribers who have been following Medidas Cautelares for many months since its beginning. You tell me, every time you say it, it ends up coming true. Well, yes, the truth is that we put in a lot of hours. We work hard to give you the best information. Of course, mistakes can always happen, but we work to always have the best information and to provide the most exclusive news. And then, obviously, you can say, look, Miguel Ángel already broke it on Medidas Cautelares. So really, thank you all so much for your unconditional support, and proof of that is that you keep becoming members of Medidas Cautelares. Thank you all so much. You already know that you can become members like the chosen ones for less than €3 a month, or like the supreme ones for less than €7 a month. We're going to dedicate today's show to our 2 latest members who have joined as the chosen ones, Sinzin5266 and Maria del Carmen Carton. Thank you so much, Maria del Carmen, as well. Thank you so much for your trust and for supporting Medidas Cautelares, and you also know that you can make contributions via Bizum at 627-556-3556-370, 627-556-355-6370. Leave me your comments, your opinions. What do you think is going to happen with the Zapatero issue? Is it going to keep escalating? Is it going to end up bringing him down? Pedro Sanchez, leave me your opinions. And if you wish, as always, share the video with whoever you want. Family, friends, colleagues. And don't forget to hit like. It really helps a lot. Honestly, thank you very much for spreading these videos. As I always say, the key is making sure everyone gets this information, because information is power. See you soon.